Hello and welcome to the Indicator Warehouse. In this video, I am going to be covering the volume pressure indicator. The volume pressure indicator has been around for quite some time. It is a very simple, very robust day trading tool to use. I personally have been using this indicator for going on about 2 years now. The volume pressure indicator is a simple tool that allows you to get a more accurate reading of the extreme short-term bias of the markets and is best used for day trading. However, it can be used for larger and longer time frames as well. Now, the indicator is a combination of various precision volume moving averages, D-trended readings on those moving averages, along with acceleration and deceleration reading. Together, these are taken and expressed in a combination as both a leading bias line and a histogram, which adds underlying support information for the leading bias line. Now, the volume pressure indicator is a great tool for determining a short-term trend, as well as it can help you spot divergence. Now, one thing I do need to point out with the volume pressure indicator is that it does not show historical data. It needs to have live data feeding it, because what you're seeing down here, this is all live data as it streams in. Now, if you want to see historical data, all you've got to do is download market replay data, play it throughout the day, and then you can get a historical idea of what this indicator will do if you wanted to do some back testing. Before we get into what this indicator can actually do for you and how it can help you with your day trading, let's go ahead and let's take a look at some of the parameters. The volume pressure indicator comes set to default with a computation basis of number 2, which means it is calculating the up and down tick volume, and you'll see this with the histogram. We can also do bid-ask volume as well as up and down tick count. For this demonstration here, I'm going to go ahead and just leave it set to the default of 2, the up and down tick volume, as that's what I've been using for quite some time. There are 2 different alerts that are available. You can use a pop-up when the leading volume line crosses 0, or you can use an alert wave, which I have right here. You can use both. To activate the pop-up, all you've got to do is hit the drop down and then set that to true. I'm going to leave it to false. All I use is the alert wave. Now, you can change this alert wave to whatever alert you want. I'm going to go ahead and leave it set to alert wave 2. Next, if we like, we can adjust the position of our lines here. And what the lines are designed to do is to show us when we start to reach a point of maybe extreme positive volume or extreme negative volume, say on the sell side. So I'm just going to leave these parameters set where they're at as well. Like any of the other indicators that we offer here at Indicator Warehouse, you can change the colors to whatever colors you like. All right, let's get started, and I'd like to point a few things out. The first thing I'd like to point out is this is the leading volume line, or the LVL. Here we have the histogram right here, and we've got some positive volume because it's above the 0 line. Now, when the LVL crosses the 0 line to the downside, you'll see here, and then you see here that it turns red. One of the things that I like to use this indicator for is I get an early warning right here that perhaps volume is getting ready to change direction. I like to wait for the histogram to match the color of my leading volume line before I would consider, say, making a long trade. The same thing is going to go for a short trade. Right here we see it starts to give us a heads up, and it gives us another heads up here when it crosses the 0 line. Now, this will again give you either the pop-up or the audible alert, or both. You choose. But again, I like to wait for the histogram to match my leading volume line before I look to take a short trade. And as you can see, this indicator does an outstanding job of giving us short-term trends, particularly if there is some power behind them. And also, it's going to give us a heads up should things begin to turn. So if we look here where the leading volume line starts to cross into the histogram and back over into the zero line, we see this little pullback right here, but then we see the trend continue to the downside. Let's look a little bit further down the chart and see what this downside move looks like. All right, as we can see, the downside move continues, but it's not a very strong continuation here. What does this tell us? What we can actually do is this. I'm simply going to just draw a resistance line here, and then we can actually see the divergence right here. And let's take a little bit further look down the chart and let's see which direction the volume takes us. All right, as we see here, we are getting a rise in price. Looks like the oil market is a little choppy right now. Another thing that I'd like to point out is in the choppier markets, you're going to tend to see these little histograms right here. They're going to get real small, like you're seeing here, which is an indication that there may not be that much market participation. Now, before I close this video, one thing I would like to point out is that the volume pressure indicator works with time-based charts, range bars, tick charts, volume charts, and so forth. Well, all right, I hope you found this video to be informative. If you have any questions regarding the volume pressure indicator, please feel free to contact us here at Indicator Warehouse anytime. Thanks and have a great day.